Hello everyone, it's the JS Living. I am here today to do another video. We're getting close to Mother's Day, and so I thought I wanted to continue on our theme of navigating familial expectations with a focus on motherhood this time around. So I think that I'm going to start with reading. Actually, I'm not going to start with reading the prologue. A lot of you have probably already heard the prologue in the first book, The Blood Quest. And if you haven't, you can definitely find it in one of my many other YouTube videos that I've been uploading from my Facebook Lives. And even if you can't find it there, you can always go to my website, thejsliving.com. If you go under free Patreon members, the prologue is located there for free just for you to read. But I do want you to know that when I talk about motherhood, I am going to reference this section of the book, just to let you know. So today I wanted to talk about everything that I don't know about motherhood, but more importantly, I want to kind of talk about Elizabeth Bathory's traits, what she's been doing all this time, and why she gave up Elizabeth Bathory Tepes as her daughter. So those of you who have read the prologue, you already know that Elizabeth Bathory Tepes, the daughter of Dracula and Elizabeth Bathory, is very much like her whole goal in this novel is to find her mother. She wants to find that missing part of her life so that she can put the puzzle pieces together and feel whole and complete. At least that's why she believes she's doing it for this book. With this episode, I kind of want to give like a shout out to moms, and I don't mean just like, you know, single moms or like just moms in general. I'm talking about like moms who also, like the moms who had to give up their children as well, and the moms who had to make like really tough decisions between like their livelihood and their child or their would-be child. Because sometimes like life is difficult and hard, and I'm not saying that everyone's situation is the same, and by no means am I a mother, so I cannot fully comprehend how difficult it would be to have to give up your child for any reason, whether it's health related or, you know, circumstance wise or whatever. But I think motherhood is a very special thing. I was lucky to be raised by my mother, very blessed. She did a wonderful job with me, if I do say so myself. So I don't know, I just feel like it's important to take a moment to thank them and what they do for us. And you know, because it's gotta be hell to like wake up a child at like 5 in the morning, drag them out of bed, get their food ready, get them to school, make sure they have their lunch. You know, it's gotta be hard to like rein in your anger when they do something stupid in school. And all around, just getting children to listen to you is difficult. I've got 9 nieces and nephews, and when I have to watch them, or when I had to watch them when they were little, it was like a headache. And I feel like I got like just like a 1% fraction of what mothers go through at that point. Again, I know nothing about motherhood. This is everything I don't know. But like with my 1% fraction of knowledge, I just feel like they have the hardest job. So I commend them on that. So anyways, in the prologue that is in The Blood Quest Book 1, you could say that Elizabeth Bathory Tepes is feeling alone. She wants to know about her mother. She wants to know why her mother left her. And those are very great questions that she has. So I'm here today to give you the answer to those questions. First of all, I'm sure you guys have heard this. I've said it a million times. Again, it's on previous videos. Elizabeth Bathory was engaged to marry Farrakh Nadasdy, and she ended up, this is like the historical version, mind you. So she was engaged to marry Farrakh Nadasdy. She ended up having relations with another male. Farrakh Nadasdy got upset, beat up / killed the other guy. Elizabeth Bathory had the child, sent the child off to Wallachia, and then married Farrakh Nadasdy. And so like Elizabeth Bathory Tepes is that child that got sent off to Wallachia. And so the reasons why are very, for this character, for Elizabeth Bathory, it's a very political thing. Like if she didn't send EBT off to Wallachia, then she would have lost her status. It was also about uniting human families with the non-humans, in this case Suwa. And so that's one of the reasons why she left, is because she wanted to make sure that everything went smoothly for her family and her estate. However, things turned south. Like for Elizabeth Bathory in my book series, she marries Frank and they don't get that happily ever after. Instead, there's like a lot of lying, a lot of treachery. He's gone all the time because he's fighting in the war, which is a historical fact. The real Frank Nadasdy did have to go off and fight in wars. So all of that plays a part in her life, and she gets lonely, and so she like does some not so savory things, and she pulls Frank Nadasdy into it. And so he essentially tells her, if you ever contact your lover again, because he finds out that her lover is alive, he's pretty much like no, like you're not going to do that. So, you know, when he finds out, he doesn't say anything directly. Instead, he plots her murder. She dies and comes back as a sluagh. And after that, he sets off the entire town and all future townspeople to persecute her and all the other sluagh. So essentially, he's telling her, you know, if I can't have you, no one can, and that includes Dracula. I don't care if he knows where you're at. He's not gonna get you, because guess what? You have to go into hiding. And so that's pretty much why she leaves EBT and never comes back. When I finish the Blood series, I will be writing another book series that goes into this whole complicated history with Anton / Frank Nadasdy. Sorry if you guys didn't know that. He's the same person in this book series. I know it's a spoiler, but you're going to find out when you read book 1 anyways. So hopefully you've read that before you pick up this book. Anyways, that's why she really left. What she's been doing this whole time? That is a great question. She's been doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. But what she has not been doing is contacting her former lover / her would-be ex-husband or her child. So it's actually not until, and again, another spoiler alert, it's not actually until book 2, or rather the end of book 1, beginning of book 2, when Elizabeth Bathory Tepes finds her mother. And so I am going to read this small little excerpt from book 2, pages 22 through 24, that kind of gives you an idea of the type of person that Elizabeth Bathory is. After hours of grueling practice, I finally won a match. Suck it! I yell in my mother's face as she holds her bleeding stomach. She smells of dead flowers, and her blood is a mahogany so dark that it almost looks black. I can see bits of her organs, but she just stands up like it's nothing. She cracks her head and her knuckles as though preparing for a fight, but instead of the snap or pop that I'm expecting my jaw to make, I see her stretch. And for the first time, a genuine smile spreads across her face. Well done, she says. You finally got me. The scoreboard above the throne now reads 200-1. It's not much, but it's progress. Now, when you can do it 200 times in a row, you'll be as good as me. She limps to a bench that Aunt Latina had put out earlier. Her body has already begun to heal, another trait of the sluagh, but she still sits down as though she's feeble. So, I say, in all that talk, we never did get to why your eyes look different today. Was that on your mind this whole time? She's being snobby. I disregard her comments. No, of course not. She glares at me. Yes, sort of. No wonder you're such a sorry sight in battle. You don't know how to focus. I shrug and arch my left eyebrow in a way that says, I don't care what you think. Fine. If you must know, it's one of our abilities. Ours as in the family and just the eyes, or ours as in sluagh. And no, not just the eyes. So I have several abilities. We can sense the souls of all living things and other sluagh. She lifts a finger up to count, but not of things that have gone from this earth or that others have reanimated. Correct. We can suck in the souls of the damned and use them as a power, or release them after they've completed a task for us. Like how I found you using Liz's powers. Exactly. We can communicate with our subconscious. She ticks off 2 more items using her fingers. which is what Liz is. Are you going to let me finish? She asks tiredly. For the first time, I wonder if she is tired. Tired of running, tired of her life, tired of me. Yes, I respond. Sorry. Right. We can also bend others to our will, restore lives for a hefty price, and change our physical appearance, be it race, ethnicity, gender, features, or otherwise. She recounts her fingers as if double-checking that she hasn't left anything out. Do we have other abilities? Not that I've discovered. She wipes her forehead with the back of her hand, but she isn't sweating. She's glistening. In the dim light of the throne room turned training room, I can almost see the young girl that she used to be. Someone who may have been able to love. But I also haven't tried. None of us have. Her tone is sharp, dragging me out of my thoughts of a young Elizabeth Bathory running around a courtyard. So, the extent of our abilities is unknown. Now, do you plan to pester me all night? Yes. Too bad. I'm busy. Go call Dimitri. Let him know that you're fine. I can sense that he's worried about you. From here? She side-eyes me. Fine, I'm going. I start to walk away, but then I turn around. You know, this is the most mother-daughter-like conversation that we've ever had. And it will probably be our last. Why is that? Don't push it, Elizabeth. I could say the same to you, Elizabeth. She rolls her eyes. I guess Latina and I should start calling you by your ridiculous nickname so that we can differentiate between ourselves. You could, but somehow I don't think it would suit you. You're right. You should just stick to calling me Mother. I turn around and walk away without responding. I don't want her to see the pleased look on my face. After centuries of unreturned letters and what feels like months of banter, I feel that we're finally getting along. That's chapter 2. Chapter 3 has her saying something completely different. But anyways, I think that was a moment, like a mother-daughter bonding moment. And I tried to put a lot of those throughout book 2 because it's kind of about her reestablishing that connection with her mother. Now, how well it goes, you'll have to read to find that out. But I say all this to say that Elizabeth Bathory's traits, she is a cruel woman. You can't kill over 1,000 people and not end up being a very cruel person. But at the same time, her cruelty is because she's had this really dark, really difficult past. And a lot of it is due to the antagonist of the first book, which is Anton. And Anton kind of has his fingers in all the pies in book 2, even though we don't see him we could see how in book 1 what he does has affected Elizabeth Bathory Tepes, EBT. But not only has he affected EBT, he's affected her whole entire family, especially Elizabeth Bathory. So while she's cruel, she has a reason to be. And even though she's left EBT all these years and never returned her letters, she has reasons. She's not human, obviously. She's Sua, but she's still very much a person. So I say that to say, mothers are complex. Whether your mother has been in your life forever, whether you're trying to reconnect with your mom, or whether, you are a mother or you were supposed to be a mother, but something unfortunately happened to where you couldn't be, we understand. They are people. And they have things that are important to them, and our experiences shape our lives. And so when it comes down to motherhood, even though I know nothing about motherhood, I think it's just important to recognize that moms do their best. They do what they can, they stay strong, they get their shit together, and they kick ass. And that's kind of what I want to leave you with. So I hope that I answered some good questions about my characters. But I also hope that you guys take this moment to appreciate your moms and have a wonderful Mother's Day. To all my moms and soon-to-be moms, really enjoy your Mother's Day. Enjoy all the love and the caring and the appreciation, and just happy Mother's Day, guys. All right, bye.